thanks to the grace of heaven and the virtue of our teachers, and thanks to the compassion from above, I, as a humble learner, have the opportunity to share and present this lesson with all of you, methods to change your fortune. Dear predecessors, every one of us hopes for good luck. As a result, many people try every possible method and exhaust all means to bring themselves good fortune. But is there truly an effective way in this world to change our fortune, something simple to achieve yet capable of fundamentally transforming our destiny? Therefore, I have prepared the wisdom of sages, immortals, and Buddhas to share and discuss with you. There are indeed traceable methods to change our fortune. Let us explore them in this text. First, be calm, speak less, and listen more. Dear predecessors, did you know? There is a saying in the vegetable root discourse, only in stillness can worldly affairs be seen clearly, only in simplicity can human relationships endure. In this world, only in a state of calm can we see things clearly. As the saying goes, a true gentleman observes chess in silence. Especially when we are at the scene of an event, in the moment, we are often influenced by the situation. Only a bystander can see clearly. Who is a bystander? Someone who can see things clearly because they are in a state of calm. Only by being calm and speaking less can we see things clearly. Thus, the first method to change our fortune is, be calm, speak less, and listen more. Dear predecessors, did you know? It is said that top salespeople are not the ones who talk the most, rather, they are the best listeners. Only through listening can they understand the needs of their clients. To change our fortune, we must listen more. Listen to the wisdom of sages and the guidance of predecessors. This can help us transform our destiny. Let us return to the text and continue our exploration. Second, greet people with a smile and share the truth with everyone you meet. Dear predecessors, when you see others, do you have a stern face, or do you greet them with a smile? Dear predecessors, did you know? To have good fortune, you must maintain a smile like the hands of a clock at 10 minutes past 10. Just like the smile shown in the chart above, dear predecessors, take a look. It's like the clock hands at 10 minutes past 10. Why is 10 minutes past 10 the best smile? You must remember the saying, the water of the yellow river comes from the heavens, meaning good fortune comes from above. When you have the expression of 10 minutes past 10, you can fully receive all the good fortune bestowed upon you from heaven. But if your expression is like 10 minutes past 10, dear predecessors, it is said that the underworld lies beneath the earth, representing bad fortune. When bad fortune rises from the ground, with a 10 minutes past 10 expression, it scatters to both sides. Isn't it true that good fortune from above can be fully embraced, while bad fortune from below is entirely avoided and dispersed? Therefore, always maintain a smile like the hands of a clock at 10 minutes past 10, this is the best. But what if your expression is like the hands of a clock at 25 minutes past 7? Dear predecessors, with a 25 minutes past 7 expression, when good fortune comes from above, you cannot catch it, and naturally, the good fortune slips away. Meanwhile, when bad fortune surges from below, you end up absorbing it entirely. Thus, a good method to change your fortune is to greet people with a smile and share the truth with everyone you meet. When we meet others, we must proclaim the truth on behalf of heaven. Dear predecessors, heaven, earth, and humanity are called the three powers. Heaven does not speak, and earth does not talk. It is through humans that the truth is proclaimed on behalf of heaven. Therefore, we must share the truth with everyone we meet. We should share good things with others, especially our insights into the truth. We must proclaim the truth on behalf of heaven, allowing more people to understand the nobility of the truth. Only in this way can we practice the three types of giving: material giving, giving of the Dharma, truth, and giving of fearlessness. Sharing the truth with everyone we meet allows us to practice the giving of the Dharma at all times. In practicing the giving of the Dharma, we can persuade others. As the saying goes, to guide someone temporarily, use your words; to persuade someone for a lifetime, use books. Books can preserve good teachings for a long time. Thus, persuading someone for a lifetime relies on books, but persuading someone once relies on speech. Sometimes, speaking kind and virtuous words to others can naturally help alleviate many issues, especially the mental struggles that modern people face. When someone is trapped in their thoughts and cannot break free, a single wise saying from the sages can enlighten them, guide them out of confusion, and help them escape from a dead end. In doing so, we can also accumulate immeasurable merit. Let us return to the text and continue our exploration. Third, proceed slowly, act steadily, and avoid haste or impatience. Dear predecessors, in our conduct and actions, we must proceed slowly and steadily. As the saying goes, one step, one footprint. Those who tread firmly and steadily cannot move quickly. There is an old parable about a farmer who, after planting rice seedlings, noticed they were growing slowly. He came up with an idea and, in the middle of the night, pulled his seedlings upward slightly. The next day, his seedlings appeared taller and faster growing than others. The neighbors didn't know he had tampered with them. But, dear predecessors, remember, what is true cannot be made false, and what is false cannot be made true. His actions were not genuine. At first, his seedlings seemed to grow faster than others, but over time, because he had pulled them too high, they were too far from the soil to absorb its nutrients, and soon they withered and died. So, how do we change our fortune? The compassionate teachings of immortals and Buddhas tell us that by proceeding slowly, we naturally achieve stability. By acting steadily and without haste or impatience, we can work with a grounded approach. If we are hasty, we cannot be steady. In Minnan dialect, there's a term, ruwai, to let the flavor sink in. In spiritual cultivation, we must let the flavor sink in. Why? Because when we do so slowly and steadily, the essence permeates deeply, allowing us to experience the truth of the Tao. Thus, acting steadily without haste or impatience is the third method to change our fortune. Let us return to the text and continue our exploration. Fourth, do not be arrogant, and repay kindness received. Dear predecessors, we must never be arrogant in our conduct, for arrogant people are disliked and unapproachable. Consider this: when a typhoon strikes, the proud, rigid trees are often the first to be uprooted and destroyed. But, dear predecessors, we rarely see bamboo affected by typhoons. Why? Because bamboo sways with the wind. Thus, the compassionate teachings of immortals and Buddhas tell us not to be arrogant but to repay kindness received. This is extremely important. As the saying goes, for a single drop of kindness received, repay it with a gushing spring. By avoiding arrogance and repaying kindness, we practice a method to change our fortune. Let us return to the text and continue our exploration. Fifth, When facing injustice, do not be resentful or vent. Forbearance is wisdom. Dear predecessors, today's society is filled with much injustice. For example, many people are falsely accused or slandered for things they didn't do, what we commonly call smearing. This is the reality of our society. But, dear predecessors, Master Jai Gong compassionately teaches us, by what merit can we achieve enlightenment in one lifetime? This carries profound meaning. Consider this: a person's life, even if they live to 100 years, spans just over 30,000 days. Yet, over 60,000 years, we have accumulated countless sins and mistakes. How can we achieve enlightenment in just one lifetime? Master Jai Gong compassionately explains, first, we are blessed by the grace of heaven and the virtue of our teachers, allowing us to learn, cultivate, teach, and serve. Second, the weight of our sins accumulated over 60,000 years is immense. In the past, during the Qinyan and Hongyan periods, cultivation required renouncing worldly life and retreating to remote mountains or caves. That was appropriate for those times. But in the Beiyang period, it's different. We cultivate at home. Though we are not monastics, we live more ascetically than monastics. Dear predecessors, we practice vegetarianism, adhere to the 15 Buddhist precepts, and uphold strict discipline. The divine child of records observes every detail of our actions clearly, and heaven compassionately oversees everything we do. So, why can we achieve enlightenment in one lifetime? Besides fulfilling our vows through meritorious deeds, which is one method, it's challenging to clear 60,000 years of karmic debts in one lifetime solely through such deeds. Therefore, in the Beiyang period, we cultivators must engage with sentient beings. While maintaining our roles as scholars, farmers, workers, or merchants, we must fulfill our family responsibilities, societal duties, and workplace obligations. In these roles, we often encounter people who may be jealous, envious, or resentful of our success, leading to slander or criticism. How do we handle such slander and criticism? Ordinary people might retort sharply, but as cultivators, we are different. Master Jai Gong compassionately teaches us, when others' slander or criticism is baseless, why bother arguing? The moment of such criticism is a test of the nobility of the Tao. When faced with false accusations, we must first reflect, did I do anything wrong? If not, and others still criticize or slander us, dear predecessors, always remember Master Jai Gong's compassionate teaching. Such people are groundlessly venting their frustrations, and by slandering you despite your innocence, they are helping you clear your karma. Dear predecessors, we can achieve enlightenment in one lifetime through our earnest efforts and fulfilling our vows. Additionally, as we constantly interact with sentient beings, we face much injustice. What do we do when others unfairly accuse us? Before embarking on the path of cultivation, we might have argued back. But as cultivators, we act differently. We immediately reflect. If we are innocent, we recall the compassionate teaching of immortals and Buddhas, do not be resentful or vent. Why? Because forbearance is a virtue. Those who slander us are helping us clear our karma, thereby lightening our burden. With a lighter burden, should we be resentful or grateful? Of course, we should be grateful. Dear predecessors, I share with you that a person's success depends on two types of people, noble benefactors who uplift us and petty antagonists who challenge us. Noble benefactors provide positive support, and we must repay them. Petty antagonists, however, stir negative forces. We should be grateful to them, too. Why? Because they help us clear and block our karmic obstacles. When you express gratitude, your mindset shifts instantly. As cultivators, when faced with challenges, if the mountain doesn't turn, the path turns. If the path doesn't turn, the person turns. If the person doesn't turn, the mind turns, and the situation transforms. Dear predecessors, consider the Chinese character for forbearance. It depicts a resilient blade piercing the heart. This is not easy, but we must endure it, for we aim to achieve the Tao in heaven and leave a legacy on earth. When others unjustly accuse us, we need not take baseless claims to heart. They help us clear our karma, and we should be grateful. Thus, the compassionate teachings of immortals and Buddhas tell us, when facing injustice, do not be resentful or vent. Forbearance is wisdom. Choosing forbearance demonstrates wisdom, and we do not stoop to petty disputes. Let us return to the text and continue our exploration. Sixth, treat others with filial piety, and as virtuous people, follow the path of compassion. Dear predecessors, the compassionate teachings of immortals and Buddhas tell us that among all virtues, filial piety comes first. Thus, we must treat others with filial piety, which is of utmost importance. Dear predecessors, we must show filial respect to our elders. In practicing filial piety, as the saying goes, heaven and earth are like our parents, and our parents are like heaven and earth. We must uphold filial piety and also follow the path of compassion. Why? Because through compassion, we alleviate others' suffering and bring them joy. This is the essence of compassion. This is the kind of person we aspire to become, and we must achieve it. In the temple or at the place of cultivation, we often say, so-and-so predecessor is compassionate. Compassion means bringing joy to others and relieving their suffering. This is the way of a bodhisattva. Thus, a good method to change our fortune is to treat others with filial piety and, as virtuous people, follow the path of compassion. Seventh, yield, take a step back, and the sea and sky will open wide. Dear predecessors, as the saying goes, when planting rice seedlings, you don't push forward. If you push forward, you'll trample the seedlings you planted. In fact, stepping back is the way to move forward. Dear predecessors, in today's contentious society, when you strive to push forward, you often hear people, especially modern people, say, I just can't swallow that insult. But when you can't let go of that resentment, ask yourself, in the heat of an argument, what do you truly gain? In business, there's a Minnan saying, win or lose, you still lose. This means that when you argue with a client, if you win the argument, the client may feel humiliated and decide not to place an order. Have you really won? No, you've lost. And if you lose the argument, the client may think you're incompetent and still not place an order. So, what do you do in such situations? Dear predecessors, the compassionate teachings of immortals and Buddhas advise us to yield. By taking a step back, you create a broader space for yourself, achieving a state where the sea and sky open wide. Dear predecessors, why not yield at every opportunity? By stepping back, you naturally attain a vast and boundless perspective. Eighth, as enlightened people, face the true path. In employing others, trust in the path. Dear predecessors, as the saying goes, an enlightened person speaks openly, not in secret. As enlightened individuals who have received the Tao, we must constantly cultivate ourselves with the Tao and let it manifest in our daily lives. Dear predecessors, only by facing all problems, difficulties, and setbacks with the Tao can you naturally find that all roads lead to Rome. Thus, we must face the true path as enlightened people and trust in the path when employing others. As the saying goes, the highest principle in employing others is, do not use those you doubt, and do not doubt those you use. Liu Bang, the founder of the Han dynasty, was remarkable. In the historical conflict between Shu and Han, we see Liu Bang pitted against Xiangyu, the hegemon king of Chu. Xiangyu fought hundreds of battles in his lifetime and won 99% of them, losing only once. Liu Bang, on the other hand, was merely a minor official, weak and timid, while Xiangyu was formidable and fierce. In their 100 battles, Xiangyu won 99 times and lost once, while Liu Bang lost 99 times but won the final, decisive battle, and thus became Emperor Gozu of Han. Dear predecessors, from the Chu-Han conflict, we see Liu Bang's philosophy in employing others, do not use those you doubt, and do not doubt those you use. Xiangyu, the hegemon king, was different. He suspected every person he employed, and though he used many talented individuals, his distrust prevented him from becoming emperor. Thus, we must understand that when employing others, trust is essential. Only through trust can we effectively utilize others' talents. Especially on the path of cultivation, where we walk alongside many fellow predecessors, we must employ others with trust. Let us return to the text and continue our exploration. Ninth, be detached, view everything lightly, for many things will turn to dust with time. Dear predecessors, we often hear from elders or seniors who, before passing, say, as the proverb goes, when a bird is about to die, its song is mournful. When a person is nearing death, their words are virtuous. Many elders, in their final moments, say, Ay, life is vast and fleeting, a Minnan phrase meaning life has little worth fussing over. At the end of life, we can take nothing with us except our karma. Thus, dear predecessors, be detached, view everything lightly, for many things will turn to dust with time. Dear predecessors, think back to your childhood, those toys you loved so much. Do you still love them now? Back then, they were everything to you. If your parents or peers took them away, you were furious. But now, at this point in time, if someone offered you those toys again, would you want them? You'd likely scoff at the idea. Why? Because time dilutes everything. We must view things lightly, for many things will turn to dust with time. Dear predecessors, what seems important today becomes insignificant tomorrow, doesn't it? Let us return to the text and continue our exploration. Tenth, have keen insight in understanding others and treat them with tolerance. Dear predecessors, is it easy to understand another person? Honestly, it's hard enough to understand ourselves, let alone others. Dear predecessors, touch your own body, this is you, your own self. But can you truly control it? It seems like it's you, yet you cannot fully master it. If it were truly under your control, Would you choose to get sick? No, you wouldn't. Yet your body still falls ill. If that's the case, why do others so easily provoke your anger? The sages teach us, have keen insight in understanding others and treat them with tolerance. When observing and interacting with others, we must see clearly and treat them with tolerance. Only through tolerance can we accomplish all things and fulfill our mission. Thus, have keen insight in understanding others and treat them with tolerance. Let me emphasize again, dear predecessors, let us return to the text and continue our exploration. Be balanced, embrace simplicity, tranquility, and equilibrium. Dear predecessors, achieving balance is the most difficult and profound thing. Parents strive to treat each child fairly, but is that possible? It's not easy, because what you consider fair to one child may not seem fair to another. On the path of cultivation, facing countless sentient beings, how do we embody balance? The compassionate teachings of immortals and Buddhas tell us to be simple, tranquil, and balanced. When we live with simplicity, tranquility, and equilibrium, heaven's compassion naturally guides us. We cannot measure everything with our human hearts, so we must uphold the heart of heaven, the compassionate, pure heart of a child. By embracing simplicity in our actions and maintaining tranquility, we naturally achieve balance. Thus, balance means simplicity, tranquility, and equilibrium. Let us return to the text and continue our exploration. Twelfth, to gain wealth, first cultivate your heart. To change your fortune, first transform your mind. Dear predecessors, we all love to pray to immortals and Buddhas or the god of wealth for prosperity. But how do we achieve wealth? The compassionate teachings of immortals and Buddhas tell us, to gain wealth, you must first cultivate your heart. When you cultivate a sincere and generous heart, wealth naturally follows. Why? In practicing material giving, what we give outwardly in the open returns to us in unseen ways. Outwardly, we give away money, but in the unseen realm, heaven's compassion rewards us. Thus, we must remind ourselves, if you truly want to gain wealth, first cultivate your heart and make a great vow. When you make this great vow, heaven naturally shifts things in your favor. To gain wealth, first cultivate your heart. To change your fortune and improve your destiny in the coming year, you must first transform your mind. By adjusting and refining your mind, your fortune will naturally follow suit. Dear predecessors, to gain wealth, first cultivate your heart. To change your fortune, first transform your mind. Let us return to the text and continue our exploration. Thirteenth, to change your fortune and destiny, practice true cultivation and vow to guide those with affinity. Dear predecessors, we all hope to improve our fortune and transform our destiny. But is there a way to truly change our fortune and destiny? The compassionate teachings of immortals and Buddhas tell us it's simple, practice true cultivation and vow to guide those with affinity. Dear predecessors, to change your fortune and destiny, you must cultivate with sincerity. Why is sincere cultivation necessary? Because when we cultivate with a true heart, facing problems, difficulties, and setbacks, we constantly reflect and examine ourselves. In doing so, we subtly transform our fortune and destiny. Through true cultivation, just like the celestial champion Chongzheng, whose face bore the ominous mark of two snakes locking the mouth, destined to die of starvation, he completely transformed his fate through sincere cultivation. Because of his compassion and understanding of his destined hardships, he vowed to guide sentient beings with affinity to salvation. In this selfless giving, his fortune gradually shifted. Through true cultivation and vowing to guide those with affinity, his destiny was transformed. Dear predecessors, just as celestial champion Chongzheng did, we, too, can follow the example of sages, immortals, and Buddhas. Blessings to you.